Oh, hello. My name is Paula Deming, and we are seriously talking about a serious list of serious board game rankings. That's right, it's time to talk about my top 10 games of 2023. Seriously. In 2023, I played a total of 258 different games. 79 of those games were released in 2023, according to Board Game Geek. I have narrowed down those 79 games into a list of 10 games I had the most fun playing this year. And that's been my criteria. How much fun did I have with this game? How delightfully memorable were my experiences with it? How satisfied did I feel after playing it? And you know something else that always makes me feel satisfied? Gaining new skills. And the sponsor of today's video is a great way to do that. You've got goals, you've got things you want to do and things you want to improve, and Skillshare is a great place to start. Skillshare has the largest online learning community for creatives with a huge variety of classes from photography to graphic design, music, cooking, business, marketing, a learn by doing approach, and an on-demand platform. And it's all designed to take away the intimidation factor of learning something new. It's the start of the year, so why not invest in yourself by checking out one of their learning paths, which are designed to guide you from novice to pro without wasting your time. Learning paths are hand-picked classes focused on a specific topic. You take them in order and they build on each other, reinforcing each other. And they aren't just for beginners either. They range in experience levels all the way up to advanced. Now, something that I know we all want is to take better pictures of ourselves playing board games. I know you're trying to be an Instagram star, and I think this Intro to DSLR Photography learning path is the place to start. Feeling more confident operating my cameras in manual mode is a big goal for me this year, and this is where I'm starting, with fundamentals, learning about gear, and then getting out there and actually practicing those new skills. And the first 500 people to use my link in the description below will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare, which means you can do this learning path right along with me. Let's get better together. If you sign up, let me know in the comments below. I really can't wait to hear what learning paths you sign up for and what skills you level up. Thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video, and thank you to you for watching this ad. Now, let's talk about games. I do, of course, have some quick fire honorable mentions before we get into the main list. Now, if any of these buzzwords pique your interest, go look these games up, okay? Sagrada Artisans. It's got coloring, it's got some seriously tricky puzzles, and it's got the best legacy reveal I have ever experienced in any campaign game. I haven't finished the whole game yet, which is why it's just an honorable mention, but I am having a blast with it. Rebel Princess. Trick-taking with special powers, great art, unique theme. You basically don't want to get married to one of the princes. You're a rebel princess, so you want to have fewer points because the princes give you points if they manage to get to you and propose. It's really cute. Zoo Vadis, a re-implementation of a Reiner Knizia game. Delightful animal art from Kwanchai Moria. Really fun player interaction and negotiation. Sweet Mess pastry competition. Set collection? Order fulfillment? Pretty enough to appeal to new gamers. So I was sponsored to do a playthrough video of this a few months ago, and the reason it made it to my honorable mentions is because the whole time I was editing that video, it just made me want to play the game again. And I feel like that's a pretty good sign. But now it's time to dive deep into the actual list, where of course we start with game number 10. This game gave me one of my favorite co-op game experiences I've ever had, much less one of my favorites for the year. And that game is Express Route, which is designed by Patrick Marino and published by The Op. Express Route is a cooperative game all about that pick up and deliver mechanism, which is a mechanism I used to think sounded really boring. Turns out, I was wrong. If you want, you can clip that, turn it into a GIF, send it to people when you need to apologize. It's okay. So the setting of Express Route is kind of like retro futurism, which means kind of like cyberpunk or steampunk or diesel punk. But in this, you're a delivery punk. Okay, really, Express Route is a bit more aesthetically like the Jetsons. You're delivering packages all across the country, and it's the future. But also, it kind of looks like the 50s. And yes, I know that Jetsons was in the 60s. Look, I'm getting off track here. Express Route has that classic pandemic feeling of do something good on your turn, then deal with the bad thing that happens each turn as well. You gotta get packages loaded up and delivered before demand gets out of control. But specific kinds of packages need to be delivered in specific orders depending on the scenario you're playing, so it's a whole added layer of puzzle. When I played this with Matthew Jude, our last 3 full turns, it went something like this. Oh, we're gonna lose. Oh, no, we're gonna win. Oh, no, we're gonna lose. Oh, wait, we're gonna win. It was like up and down and up and down, and it was exactly as tense and tight as you want a co-op game to feel, and it was so much fun and incredibly memorable. So it's game number 10. Number 9 on this list, not number 9 the game, that did not come out in 2023, is a party game, which honestly I wasn't expecting. Were you? I feel like party games are getting better and better lately. Or maybe after the last couple of years, we all just really want to laugh more. Either way, 9 on the list is That's Not a Hat from Ravensburger, designed by Casper Lapp. This game has no right to be as fun as it is, but it is so much fun. Okay, so it goes like this. Everyone starts with a card in front of them, and on it is a really simple drawing of an item like a sandal or a bow. Then someone takes a card off the top of the deck and shows it to everyone, and then they flip it over and gift it to another player. So when you gift a card, you have to say what it is. Please accept this lovely sandal. And then the person receiving the gift either believes you're giving them a sandal and they take the card and say thank you, or they say, that's not a sandal, and they flip it over to reveal it. If it was a sandal, they keep the card. If it wasn't, the gifter who was bluffing keeps the card. And the cards are negative points. So you can see how pretty soon a whole mess of face down cards are moving around the table, and even when you think for sure that you remember what that card was, you probably don't. It's so funny. I gave this game to my sister for Christmas and she texted me right after they played it because they all had so much fun with it. The 8th game on the list is from Stonemaier Games and designed by Jamie Stegmaier. It's Expeditions, which is a sequel of sorts to Scythe. Now, I enjoy Scythe. It's fine. It's fun, but I'm not crazy about it, right? I can't ever really get an engine going until someone else is about to win, and then there's no time to run that engine I finally just made because they're ending the game. But I really enjoyed Expeditions. I should say that I've only played the solo mode of this game. I've never played the multiplayer version, so I can't speak to that one fully, but that automa system for this game is so good. There are some light narrative aspects of the game combined with the art that makes me feel actually kind of immersed in the world. And I really enjoy the sense of discovery that comes with moving around the map and revealing hexes and quests and corruption. I find the card play really interesting, and I'm actually able to get a bit of an engine going in this one. So if you want to like Scythe, but you just keep finding that something is getting in the way, I'd really recommend trying Expeditions. It might hit for you a lot better like it did for me. I will say though, be prepared, it is a table hog. The components are massive for what seems like no reason. I don't know why those tiles are so big. But other than that, it's really satisfying. The 7th game on the list is one I tried first on Board Game Arena and then ended up liking so much that I made sure to pick up a physical copy of the game while I was at Essen Spiel. It's Nar, which is designed by Thomas Dupont and published by Bombix and is distributed by Pandasaurus Games in North America. The first time I played this one, I didn't really understand it at all, and it felt a bit wonky, but it looked so beautiful with that Viking art done by Carrie and Antoine that I wanted to try it again. And I should probably say that me not understanding the game at first shouldn't be perceived as a knock on the game. It's really more of a reflection of how I don't always fully learn games before I play them digitally on Board Game Arena. So that's on me. Anyhow, it's not a complicated game. I should have understood it better than I did at first. You're set collecting cards of Vikings to pay for expeditions. So whenever you play a new card into one of your Viking sets, you gain the resources in all of your cards of that set. So you get this little engine going. But then you spend those cards to pay for an expedition and have to work up an engine again by rebuilding that set. But hopefully by that time you've got a little expedition engine going, because those expeditions mean you get more resources and more points every time you take a trade action. I'm realizing now that having this description immediately after I talked about the game expeditions is actually kind of confusing. I've just said the word expedition so much. I'm pretty sure that's the official word for it. You're going out like exploring, you're going out on a little expedition, a little raiding party, a trading situation. I'm sorry for saying the word expedition so many times. Anyway, this game is a race for points that gives you a tiny jolt of combo goodness, and it's just so lovely to look at. I am a big fan of it. Game number 6 on this list is Forest Shuffle, and I have something embarrassing to admit about this one. I saw it at Gen Con, and I thought, another card game about forest animals. And I passed it right by, like an idiot. So I would like to offer an apology right now to Lookout Games, the publisher, and Kosh, the designer. I was so wrong. You can gift that too. In the game, you are building out a tableau of cards that is your very own forest ecosystem. A habitat of trees and bats and butterflies and wild pigs and bunnies and lizards and butterflies. I wrote that in my script twice. I guess I was really excited about the butterflies. Okay, so you play down a tree card and then you can place other cards all around it. Some go on the top or the bottom and some go on the left or the right. But each of these cards is divided into 2 halves. So when you place it on your tree, you have to decide which portion of the card you are playing it for and ultimately scoring it for. But you have to pay cards from your hand to actually play down the card you want to play. And if you play specific cards as that payment, you get a synergy bonus, which can give you extra points or actions. I don't know if that made any sense. I feel like I said the word play a lot. Anyway, there's lots to think about, and the different cards all score in different ways, and it makes for, I think, a fair amount of variability in each playthrough. I think it's really good. I really enjoy it. We are now at game number 5 and in the top half of the list. So I realized while making this video that game number 5 was actually on my list last year, because last year I kind of cheated and put it on the list even though it was only a Kickstarter in 2022 and didn't actually release until 2023. But I was so excited about the game that it was number 3 last year. This year it's number 5. And I feel like this is definitely a cheat for real now that I've explained it all, but 2023 is the official year that Draft and Write Records came out, and I still really love it. So it's made the list 2 years in a row. Just go with me on this, please. Okay, Draft and Write Records is published by Inside Up Games, and it's designed by Bruno Maciel. I'm not entirely sure if I'm saying Bruno's last name right. I apologize. And it's a flip and write, where you are drafting cards and using the symbols on those cards to fill in different areas of your board, which is a sheet of paper. And filling in one of those areas might unlock something that lets you fill in another area, which might then let you fill in another area until you can have some really big turns full of combos, which is so fun. And it's all themed after making a band. So you're hiring musicians and roadies and PR people, and you're crossing off rehearsal items, going on tour, releasing albums, and you start the game with personal goals to help guide your drafting choices, but there are also public goals all the players are competing for. I loved it last year. I still love it this year. I think this is clearly going to be in my collection for a really long time. Game number 4 is another game that surprised me this year a lot. It's Scram by Ted Alspach and published by Bezier Games. So if you've ever played Cabo or Silver, they're really similar games. In Scram, you have a campsite and a whole bunch of critters are trying to wreck that campsite. So you gotta get them out of there. And they are, of course, represented by cards laid out in front of you. 2 of your cards are face up and 3 are face down. No one knows what they are, not even you. On your turn, you take a card from the deck and you can either play it for its action, just discard it, or swap it out for a card you have in front of you. Okay, so the cool thing is, if I want to use the card I just drew to replace a tin card, which is a bear, and I have a second tin in front of me, and my teammate, because you play this in teams, I don't think I said that, but you play this in teams, they have a tin in front of them. All of those tins can be removed from our campsites at the same time, which is super awesome because each of those cards is worth 10 points at the end of the game. And we want the fewest points possible because the point value of the card is the number value shown on them. So I played this for the first time over the summer with the Watch It Play team when we got together for our summer party game live stream. And we kept coming back to this game and wanting to play it together over and over and over. It was great. There is also an app for this, and I play it all the time. Game number 3 is another Inside Up Games game, I'm realizing. So it's Earth, designed by Maxime Tardif. This is not the kind of game I'd look at and normally think it would make it as my number 3 game of the year, right? It's very Euro-y to my Ameritrashy kind of brain. But holy crap, I could play this over and over and over again. Now, I do feel like I should preface this by saying I have played this almost exclusively digitally on Board Game Arena. I've only played it once using the actual physical game, and I did find it a little hard to manage everything, but on Board Game Arena, it is a dream. This game has a lot to wrap your head around. You've got personal scoring goals and public scoring goals, some of which are end-game, and some of which you are racing the other players for during the game. There are different actions to choose from each round, and cards to play in a tableau, and symbols to activate, and adjacency scoring, and sometimes you might have a hand of 25 cards to keep up with. It makes my brain buzz. But what is the game actually about? Okay, it's about gathering up resources to play down cards in your tableau in order to build an engine. That's what I wrote that it's about. It's about building an ecosystem with flora and fauna and landscape types and like weather events. It's Earth. It's about like creating Earth. So it's got an I choose, you follow mechanism where the active player picks an action type and they do the more powerful version of it while everyone else does the weaker version. Oh, there are also little cubes you put on cards, sprouts that score you points, and little stacking wooden mushroomy things you stack on cards to score you more points. There's a lot going on. But if you like lovely nature photography and card tableaus and engine builders and you haven't played this one yet, check it out. But give your brain a moment to take it all in, okay? Game number 2 came in just under the timing wire for me. If you've seen my vlogs this year about Gen Con and Essenspiel, you've seen me look at this game and go, oh, whoa, what is this? When will I get to find out? Because I kept catching it and being like, oh, it's too late for me to actually look at this. I only saw this at the end of the con. It's Mother of Frankenstein. This is designed by Terry Pettigrew Rolap and Tommy Wallach and published by Arcane Wonders, and boy, howdy, it's good. It's 3 volumes, and I've only played volume 1, so hopefully the other 2 keep being this good. I don't know if they will, but it's like a narrative puzzle game inspired by the life of Mary Shelley, who wrote Frankenstein. So you're like playing as her son who has inherited some material from her, and you're going through her letters and other documents looking for clues and solving riddles and puzzles, all in an attempt to learn the mysterious truth behind Frankenstein's monster. I love it. I love this sort of thing. I love narrative in games. I love solving puzzles, though I am often bad at them. And the components of this are so beautifully made and designed and really help me feel immersed in the story. Also, I've been really impressed with the hint system. So I normally find hints in these kinds of games like not helpful. They either tell me something I already figured out, or they just like give away the answer. So this one lets you click on a specific question that you have so that your hint is a little more tailored to what you need. And when I've needed it, it has been the perfect little nudge forward toward the solution. So if you like the kind of like escape room in a box genre, you should be looking into this one. And finally, we did it! My number 1 game of 2023! It is my Island, designed by Reiner Knizia and published by Cosmos. Y'all, I had such a good time playing this game. I talked about this in my most anticipated Gen Con games list, so I'll just go over it briefly again. This is a competitive legacy game that re-implements the game My City. But it's a really different experience for My City. You have hex tiles that are put together in different shapes, and you draw a card that tells you which of those shapes you have to add to your island map. And as you go, you score based on filling in the map, surrounding certain landmarks, connecting certain places, grouping hex colors together, etc. I'm trying to be vague here because I want to be mindful of spoilers. But the placement rules and the shapes of the tiles make filling in your map such a puzzle. Like, that first moment where you try to place a piece and you're like, wait, the way this is shaped means it's going to mess me up in the future for this. It's so perfectly shaped to cause problems. Why? Knizia! It's delicious. And the twists and rules changes that happen as you go through the chapters, they're so interesting and add so much to the game. And I had the most fun playing this in 2023 out of any other gaming experience I have had all year. And as a bonus, I was able to play through the whole thing with Matthew Jude over Zoom, and each using our own copy of the game, which is what inspired us to try playing Sagrada Artisans that way. And maybe next, I'll finally get to tackle Ticket to Ride Legends of the West, which is a 2023 game that I've heard really good things about, but it didn't make it to the list because I haven't been able to play it yet. But we're hoping maybe Matthew and I can play it over Zoom together. So there you go. My top 10 games of 2023. And now it's 2024, so forget all of those now. They're old. I'm serious. Thank you so much for watching this top 10 list, and thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring it. Check out that link in the description for your discount, and check out my other content here. I've got other lists, live board game playthroughs, edited board game playthroughs, and of course, comedy videos, more of which are coming this year in 2024. Also, thank you to everyone who supports me on Patreon. You're the very literal best.